You ever had a stranger look you dead in the eye and act like you didn't belong in your own neighborhood? Yeah, that happened to me, right in the middle of the meat aisle at Harvey's Market on a Tuesday afternoon. And let me tell you, it spiraled into something I couldn't have imagined, not even after 20 years wearing a badge. I was off duty that day, just another guy in jeans and a hoodie, pushing a cart with some overpriced organic produce, and yeah, a couple of beautiful Wagyu steaks I'd been eyeing all week. Nothing flashy, just trying to blend in, get dinner, get out. Then this kid, early 20s, white, tall, with that puffed-up chest swagger you only get from being told yes your whole life, he stops right in front of my cart, eyes fixed on my steaks like I stole them. He didn't ask, he demanded. "Those are mine," he says, loud enough to draw eyes from the tomato bin. "You can't afford food like that anyway. Hand 'em over." I just blinked. I've dealt with worse in my line of work. But something about that moment, it wasn't just entitlement, it was ownership. Like he thought the steaks, the store, maybe even the neighborhood, all belonged to him. I didn't bite, just reached for an avocado, calm as ever, and tried to move past him. That's when it got worse. In storms his mother, blonde bob, yoga pants, sunglasses still on indoors, the type who speaks like she's auditioning for a courtroom drama. "Don't you dare ignore my son," she snaps. "You're threatening him." And just like that, she's on her phone with 911. "There's a dangerous man here. He's harassing my son. We don't feel safe." Now here's the kicker. I'm the chief of police for this district, been in law enforcement over 2 decades, but I wasn't wearing my badge. I looked like every other guy picking up dinner on a Tuesday. And to her, that made me suspect. So I said nothing. I let it play out. Folks around us were already recording. The cashier looked like he wanted to crawl under his register. And Brenda, yeah, that was her name, kept going. Loud, righteous, confident in her HOA title like it meant she ruled the world. Police showed up fast. Good response time. I even recognized the officers, Martinez and Collins. Good guys. They scanned the scene, saw me standing calm, saw Brenda theatrically clutching her son's arm mid-tears, and they asked what happened. I gave them the truth, short, simple, honest. Kid tried to take steaks. I said no. Mom lost her mind. Jake, the son, did his best victim act. "He got in my face. He was aggressive." The kind of lie you tell when you've never faced consequences. Brenda jumped in with, "I don't think he even lives around here." Martinez asked, politely, if I'd be willing to verify my address. I smiled. I said, "Sure, you can follow me home." Now here's where it gets good. They tailed me back through the winding streets of Heatherbend, the estates, the nice part of town Brenda clearly thought I couldn't afford. Brenda and Jake followed too, all smug in their luxury SUV like they were about to catch me living in a motel. But when we pulled up, the only thing that dropped faster than their smug looks was their jaws. My house, 2 stories, glass frontage, immaculate landscaping, better than theirs by a mile, greeted us like something off a magazine cover. I walked to the gate, thumbed the fingerprint scanner, and the door slid open with a soft beep. Behind me, Jake gasped. Brenda went ghost white. And I turned, finally letting them see the full picture. "How is someone like you living here?" she whispered. I didn't answer, just let the weight of that sentence hang in the air. Everyone knew what she meant. Not, "What's your job?" or "How'd you afford this?" but how could someone like me, a black man in plain clothes, possibly belong here? I thought that would be the end of it, that maybe humiliation would bring silence. But I was wrong. The next morning I found trash dumped across my lawn. Coffee cups, ashtray guts, a half-eaten burger spelling out something I won't repeat. Jake took it further. He'd walk his dog in front of my place 5 times a day, park across the street blasting rap music, even threw pebbles at my windows just loud enough to piss me off, not enough to break glass. It was calculated. Provocation 101. Then came the fake DoorDash orders. Pizzas, Thai food, wings, always delivered to my place, with Jake showing up minutes later screaming, "You stole my food!" for all the neighbors to hear. But he didn't know about Elena. She lived 3 houses down, retired school teacher, quiet, observant, and she'd seen it all. One afternoon, she approached me near the mailbox, nervous. She said, "I saw what happened at the store, and what he's been doing since. You're not crazy. They are." She also told me something else. Brenda had been making rounds, warning the neighborhood that I was dangerous, unstable, and watching her family. Suddenly the cold stares made sense. The whispers, the subtle step-backs when I walked by. But Elena, she wasn't just watching. She was keeping notes, years' worth. Playground upgrades that never happened, security systems voted on but never installed, landscaping that looked like it hadn't seen $1 since 2017. She started showing me files, photos, receipts, meeting minutes. All pointed to one thing. Brenda had been bleeding the HOA dry for years, and Jake was living it up on the spoils. New car, designer sneakers, trips to Miami, the works. I started connecting dots. $12,000 approved for new playground gear. Same week, Jake posts pictures of his new Mustang. $8,000 for landscaping. He's on Instagram showing off a Rolex. We were building a case, quietly, methodically. Then Jake handed us the smoking gun. Drunk on his mom's media glory, oh yeah, Brenda went on TV crying about being harassed by a corrupt cop. Jake decided to live stream himself tagging my fence with spray paint, ranting about how they'd ruined me, how this neighborhood belongs to us, and wait for it, how the HOA money is basically ours anyway. He even named amounts. $15K for security, $12K for the park, called the neighbors idiots for never noticing. Alana recorded the whole thing, then called every neighbor she could trust. What followed was swift. An emergency HOA meeting, copies of Brenda's fake contractor invoices, and even evidence she'd used HOA funds to co-sign Jake's car loan. We handed everything, receipts, photos, even Jake's live confession, to the feds. They didn't blink. Federal wire fraud, conspiracy, tax evasion, the works. Jake was arrested first. The kid who tried to steal my steaks was now facing 10 years in federal prison. Brenda? They made a show of it. Morning arrest, news cameras rolling, the whole block watching. She went from HOA president to federal inmate in 48 hours. And me? I got reinstated. The mayor apologized. The same neighbors who once crossed the street to avoid me came by with cookies and invitations to block parties. Elena became the new HOA president, implemented public budgets, rotating oversight, even got the park finally fixed up. We threw a barbecue a few months later. Laughter, burgers, kids on the new swings. And as I was cleaning up, a prison transport van drove by. Slow, silent. Through the dark glass, I saw Brenda looking out at the neighborhood she used to run. Our eyes met, just for a second. And I felt nothing. No anger, no triumph, just pity. Some folks crave power so badly they'll steal it from their neighbors. But real power, the kind that builds community, that protects, that heals, it comes from truth. And the truth, it always finds its way out. Now let me ask you, what would you have done in my shoes? Was justice served, or did this go too far? Drop a comment. I want to hear your take. And if you've ever had to face a Brenda or a Jake in your life, I think it's time folks hear your story too.